I believe this is the gentleman who filmed this footage, Kane Brady. Kane, I think we can actually speak to you. You've been very kindly talking to us on the phone this morning. Am I right in saying this is the footage that you filmed earlier?
Yeah, this is essentially what we woke up to. Some loud, large commotion, heard loads of bangs, and then woke up and we saw a man being dragged out of a van. We saw him getting tasered. We saw the police pinning him down as well. It was quite a scary thing to wake up to so early on in the morning.
What was your first thought when you saw that happening?
I had not a clue. I didn't really know where it was going to go because there was only a few policemen that were there at the scene. I know they called for backup straight away. And the man was resisting arrest, so I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if that was the end of it, if it was ongoing or what.
And Kane, you saw the knife. They retrieved a knife from the van. You told us earlier it was the size of A4 paper.
Yeah, I'm looking back now. It was even bigger than that. It was a massive knife. The blade was huge. Me and someone else, when we saw the knife, both looked at each other straight away and were like, "Oh my God, what the hell?"
Are you a student at the uni, Kane?
Yeah, so I'm a student at the uni. Where we live is mostly student area. So when we saw that, just absolute shock.
Yeah.
And Kane, would it be how unusual would it be for students to be perhaps going home at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, not too unusual. As I said earlier, we know a few people that are out last night, just making sure they're okay and everything. Yeah, not unusual at all. There was a few events on yesterday, so a lot of people would have been out last night.
Of course, it was a lovely sunny evening.
Yeah.
When you've only got to get up for lectures the next morning, obviously your evening can go on and on, can't it? Has there been any statement from the university or any emails out to the pupils, the students this morning?
Not that I've seen, no, but I know the University of Nottingham have got their graduation ball tonight, so whether that will still go ahead, I'm not too sure, but I've not heard anything directly, no.
Gosh, and that's a huge event, isn't it? Such an important event for students, the graduation ball.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, a few of my housemates don't know whether it'll still go ahead or what.
Yeah. And
yeah,
Kane,
sad to see.
just remind me, because it always takes me by surprise how short the student university term is. Have most students finished lectures now? Will some of them already have gone home?
Yeah, so quite a few students would have gone home. University of Nottingham finished a bit later, so it'll be more of them will be in the city. So it wouldn't be as full as it normally would be. But as I said last night, there was a few events on yesterday. So there would have still been a lot of students out.
And at the moment, we don't know. Anybody tuning in, we just want to put, parents' minds at rest. We don't know that these are students who are the victims of this deranged maniac. We don't know that. It's just speculation, I guess, because of the area of the attacks. Tell me about Ilkeston Road, Kane, if you're familiar with that. That's the first place where 2 people were found dead in the street at 4 a.m. Is that a place that has plenty of bars, pubs, etc. on it?
Yeah, it does have a few, but it'll be more houses. It was where someone I know, it was their house in last year was on the end of their road. That road was, so
right.
There'll be quite a lot of students living there. So I'm not saying it is, but it will be like maybe people walking home. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Of course, there's also a lot of international students in Nottingham too.
Yeah.
Kane. I think I'm just looking. Yeah. I think there's around 13,000 of them from all around the world coming to Nottingham University. So this is going to be all sorts of headaches for families living overseas, worrying about their student children in Nottingham.
Yeah, no, 100%. Nottingham, you see many people from many different walks of life, so it's quite scary that something like this could be anyone.
Yep.
Kane, if you don't mind just helping us to understand the area a little bit more again. Milton Street, this is the place on which a van tried to run down 3 individuals. We understand that they are all in hospital. Are you familiar with Milton Street?
I'm familiar with the sort of area, yeah. I know, as I said before, I know Nottingham is a very student area, but when the police van, I can literally, if I open my window now, I can see the van that the attacker was in, and when the armed police were here, straight away they got a thing on the radio saying that they need to head back to Milton Street. So I don't know exactly what happened there. It seemed like it was very severe.
Yeah, that's the street on which the van had tried to run down 3 people who were in hospital. I guess it would explain if they've if they've actually secured the van, it would explain why they would, I guess, be in contact with Milton Street, which will also be the crime scene. They've effectively secured the evidence for that particular crime. We're jumping to certain conclusions. We have to point that out. This is a breaking news situation at the moment. But if you are just joining us and you're tuning in, major incident in Nottingham this morning in a very much a highly populated area with students. 4 o'clock this morning, 2 people dead in the street. A little while later, a van attempts to run down 3 people there in hospital, and then one more, a male dead on Magdalen Road. Kane, just tell us what you can see now.
Yeah, so this is just outside my front window. Is literally just the van there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, there's a bit of scaffolding in the way.
Yeah.
I think we're still looking.
Oh, that's it.
No, okay. So this is your footage now. Thank you so much, Kane, for showing us exclusively this footage to GB News. If you wouldn't mind, just if I could trouble you just to turn your phone around again, because we only had it on screen there for a couple of seconds whilst there was a delay. Thank you ever so much. So you're on the ground floor here, although the footage earlier was clearly taken from a floor slightly higher up. So we're looking now, the white van, it's a transit van, in position, hasn't been moved obviously at all this morning. The door is open where the driver will have been dragged out, and also a sliding rear door. And
is that door, Kane, is the door, the passenger door, is it dented?
No, so the passenger door is not dented, no, but the front of the van is all in absolute bits. Can't really see it on camera too much. There's quite a lot of dents, and the glass is all shattered and smashed.
Yeah, and you think you heard gunshots, which could explain the shattered windscreen. There's another theory; it could have been what was Mark White saying? That
it was a baton.
A baton.
That if the vehicle had come to a halt, they could have hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said earlier, we were so unaware of what was going on, so we had no clue, really.
Pretty scary for you.
Yeah, it's not something you wake up to every Tuesday morning at 5 a.m, so that was some scary stuff.
Yeah, and what are you studying at Nottingham?
I do politics and international relations.
Oh, do you? Yeah. And is it a great city to be a student in?
Yeah, I'll definitely tell anyone to come here. It's a great night out. It's such a sad thing this happened, but it's an amazing city. It's two good universities as well. But it's a shame this has happened.
We spoke to Peter Blexley earlier, former police officer who has a son in the second year, actually, of university in Nottingham. And he was saying that when he's been out there, it does feel generally fairly safe. But he said that he was struck by the fact that when he'd come out of a nightclub with his son and his mates, that there were no police officers to be seen. Do you see many police on the streets when you're coming out of clubs and bars?
You do, but only in the city centre, really. Apart from literally that Market Square, that sort of area, there's not. You don't really see them walking past on the streets or anything. But in the city centre, yes, you do. But on places like Ilkeston Road, where I know the van was at one point, there wouldn't be much police around there.
Right, OK. So people who are just joining in, Kane, you've brought us this exclusive since first thing this morning. Just remind us again what happened, if you don't mind, when you woke up this morning, and what did you see?
Yeah, so we woke up to shouts of armed police, and what I said earlier sounded like some very large commotion, sounded like gunshots. Honestly, it was that loud. We looked out the bedroom window, and I saw tasers. I saw a man being dragged out, pinned to the floor. I saw him getting arrested. He was trying to resist. I then later saw, when they opened the van, I saw a large knife being pulled out. And then straight away, that's when the police then closed off both roads, both Maple Street and Bentinck Road.
Right. Fascinating. I'm just reading a statement now from the East Midlands Ambulance Service, because, of course, they've taken 3 people to hospital who were struck by the van, saying it's too early to comment on casualties or the exact nature of the incident. So it's all still, it's ongoing, up in the air. It
really is. Kane, I'm interested to see that the van is sat there just outside of your window now. It isn't cordoned off as such, is it? Are there many police or any detectives milling around at the moment?
Yeah, there's a few walking about. So one of my housemates just opened the door and the police just said, go back inside. And then my neighbour went to work this morning, because when this all happened, we actually went back to bed, didn't think too much of it. And then I saw it on the news, and that's when we come downstairs, and the police said, it's officially a crime scene, and anyone who has to go to work or whatever, they're taking everyone's details.
So you're going to stay. You're not going to go to. You're not going to go to your tutorials today. You're going to stay at home.
Well, I've finished now, so I've got the privilege of being able to stay in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you meant to be at the graduation ball tonight?
No, so I wasn't, but one of my housemates and then the rest of her mates were meant to be, but they just don't know what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. So the police are not letting you out of your house. We're looking at live pictures now, Kane. I don't know whether you can see these images. This is the city centre in Nottingham. The road's still closed.
Yeah.
It looks like this is Ilkeston Road. So this is the site where 2 people were found dead in the street at 4 o'clock in the morning. We can see there is some traffic at the end of that particular road, but it looks like there's some debris, in fact, in the middle of the road. If you know this area a bit, Kane, can you give us an idea of what buildings, what establishments, retail outlets, cafes, restaurants, bars there might be around there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a range of different things. Obviously, it's like a university student area, so it would be very busy. Even in the early hours in the morning, you would get people walking around. I know there's a few shops, there's the odd bar near there, but it's more like shops and gyms and stuff like that that would be there. It's a bit further out of the city, so as I said, it would be people walking home. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me there's debris because the van is dented to pieces, so the van must have hit something.
Yeah, and the clubs. What time? Even midweek, Kane. What time are the clubs chucking people out? Is it as late as 3?
Yeah, it would still be late. It would still be like 2 or 3, probably 2 a.m. I'd say. But then people would get food after. They'd maybe go to an after party or something, and then they'd walk back. It wouldn't necessarily be the clubs closed. That's the end of the night.
How extraordinary. I mean, we've sort of been speculating, I guess. I was speculating, Andrew, I don't know about you, that maybe the people at 4 a.m. who were found dead at Ilkeston Road had been stabbed. But looking at this scene now on the road, there is clearly debris on the road of white plastic, perhaps. You've just told us, Kane, that the front of the van that you're sat looking at is actually damaged. We're speculating, but it would look perhaps as though the 2 people who were found dead in the street, that was the police's words, were also hit by this vehicle. The police have cordoned off. There's tape on either side of the debris on the road. In fact, that looks like the paramedics sort of equipment that's on the side of the road there.